S rank is the pinnacle that all hunters aspire to reach, because when hunters endure all kinds of suffering, only S rank hunters never fear any of it. In the year 3032, the world underwent tremendous changes. Special humans began to appear one after another, superhumans, demigods, and saviors, with no one able to define their existence. They conquered dungeons like playing games, and these humans who specialized in hunting monsters became known as hunters. They continuously conquered dungeons through portals connected to these realms, and the resources obtained from there enriched the human world. But these portals also triggered a catastrophe. Countless monsters invaded the human world en masse, and those powerless humans died helplessly. This was Earth's apocalyptic disaster, or so everyone thought, until the hunters appeared. But their goal wasn't to save humanity. Rather, it was to hunt monsters. Regardless of the outcome, hunters became the protagonists of this new world. But none of this concerned the man before us, because he was terminally ill and could die at any moment. On his way home, his sister called to ask, Hae-seon, what did the hospital say? To keep his sister from worrying, the man said the hospital didn't say much of anything. But even the doctors admitted they were helpless against his condition. The fact that he was still alive was already a miracle. Just as the man was struggling with how to explain to his sister, an urgent alarm sounded. People immediately received notifications. Open gate phenomenon showing sudden surge, all citizens please evacuate immediately. Why would something that hadn't appeared for years suddenly show up now? Wait, an open gate. It seems to be right here. A massive creature had already opened its bloody maw. In the next second, a tongue lashed out and instantly killed a human. This terrifying scene sent people fleeing in all directions. Meanwhile, his sister noticed the emergency news on TV. Monster attack occurring in the open gate area. His sister was extremely worried about Hae-seon's safety. On the other side, the man who was about to flee was grabbed by the monster, and there was no one around who could help him. Looking at the messages on his phone, I'm sorry, sister. I wanted to do something for you before I died, but in this situation, even saying goodbye seems difficult. But I can't just sit here and wait to die. I heard humans who die blocking monsters can receive medals and prize money. This should be able to help my sister somehow. The man gripped the broken glass tightly. Come on then, you damned monster. Then the monster lifted him up. You probably haven't experienced pain before. Now I'll let you taste what pain feels like. The man broke free from the tongue and leaped forward. Attacking the monster's eye, he stabbed the monster's eye blind. Did my attack work? The monster's tongue wrapped around the man. Apparently, it had no effect at all. He was then swallowed whole by the monster. The man began reflecting on his entire life, feeling like his existence had been meaningless from the start, no matter how hard he tried. At that moment, his sister's gentle face appeared before his eyes. She was the one who cared for him with tender attention. She was the one who gave him the courage and meaning to live. With his heart beating violently, I can't die yet. The monster also sensed something wasn't right. Countless white lights burst from within its body. Then it exploded on the spot. Moments later, only the man remained lying there. Meanwhile, the Glory Guild was apologizing for this incident. We've done our utmost to control the situation, so please wait in safe locations. Our guild will always protect you. At the same time, what's going on here? I was clearly swallowed, so why am I still alive? The man felt his head splitting with pain, but his senses were sharper than usual. A scream caught the man's attention. That's definitely my sister's voice. Why would she come to such a dangerous place? I must find her quickly. On the other side, his sister was frantically searching for the man. Voices came from near the stairs. Hae-seon, are you there? But the next second she froze in place. Countless monsters were crouching there. Realizing the danger, his sister tried to flee immediately, but accidentally stepped on glass on the ground. Instantly, countless toads came pouring out, then chased after her relentlessly. Though she ran for a long time thanks to her exceptional stamina, she soon felt utterly desperate, because the path ahead had been destroyed. But her heart was still concerned about her brother, completely unaware that danger was quietly approaching. Just as the toad was about to attack her, "Damn monster, stay away from my sister." The toad was sent flying by the man on the spot. When will those hunters finally arrive? That voice is definitely Hae-seon. Sister, get out of here quickly, I'll handle them. Normally it would be impossible for an ordinary person to fight monsters, but the man felt certain he would win. First, the small toads' bodies were very fragile. Though their main attack method was poison, their physical capabilities were below average. Second, the man had become stronger, though he hadn't realized it. But he had indeed become stronger. And finally, there was the poison. In the battle with the large toad, the man discovered its poison was extremely potent. Any ordinary person who touched even a little would die immediately. But it had no effect on him whatsoever. It seems my guess was correct. Poison has no effect on me at all. Now you have no means left. However, just as the man was feeling pleased about this, a large toad behind him launched an attack. In an instant, the man was sent flying dozens of meters away. Did I just lose consciousness? What's going on here? Was I sent flying by that large toad? But who's in front of it? The man looked closely. It was his sister. Sister, run away quickly. Though his sister was trembling with fear, she still stood up to protect her brother. Don't come any closer. Just run away like this. As the monster's massive palm came down, Hae-seon, sister is sorry. His sister died right before the man's eyes. She shouldn't have died like this. Unable to accept reality, the man fell into endless rage. At the same time, a powerful aura surged forth. Red energy continuously gathered around the man, then transformed into a venomous snake. It seems this thing comes from within my body. You damned monster, I'm going to kill you. He immediately killed the toad on the spot. Meanwhile, I didn't expect him to be able to use the venom snake so quickly. If it's this child, perhaps he can do it. But making such a loud noise will attract many monsters. Looks like I should help them. On the other side, looking at the endless stream of monsters appearing, this is truly endless. Sister can't die because of me. Looking at his sister who still had a breath left. The man said he would definitely come back. To get out of here now, he had no choice but to fight the monsters. So I'll hold on as long as possible until the hunters arrive. But the next second, the man coughed up blood. Is this the consequence of using the venom snake earlier? Why does it have to happen at this moment? Damn it, I must get moving. Move, body, move. The next second, a voice came, that's not how you use power. Kid, you spent too much energy dealing with such small fry. Exhausting all your stamina at once will definitely be tough. Hello kid, my name is Kirill. Though I have a lot to say, let's deal with the immediate problem first. I'll be right back. She threw the man 10 meters away. It's dangerous here. Just stay with your sister for now. Who is she? Why does she throw people around without asking? Why are there such unreasonable people? The woman instantly appeared before the monster, then lightly threw a punch. The monster was shattered to pieces on the spot. Such power from just one punch. Could she be an S-rank hunter? If I had half her strength, my sister wouldn't have been hurt. Do you have some troubling problem? Not at all. Your sister can still be saved. She's very lucky. If it were any later, there would be no way to help her. If I didn't know how to heal, she would definitely die. Seeing his sister's wounds heal, the man was certain everything she said was true. I'm extremely grateful that you saved my sister. Don't be happy just yet. You can survive too. Don't keep looking so gloomy. You still have a long road ahead. But the man didn't understand what she meant. I mean, you can still live. But let me finish dealing with the remaining monsters first, then I'll explain. Please wait. As you said, if I can still live, can I become as strong as you? The woman just smiled faintly. Let me show you something good first. This is my only named skill. A mass of black energy continuously gathered in her hands. It's called Poison Rain. The energy shot straight toward the clouds. Watch carefully, because this is the level you must reach in the future. Countless raindrops fell, and the monsters touched by the raindrops instantly exploded. You asked me earlier whether you could become as strong as me. I can guarantee you, you will be the strongest hunter in this world. But Kirill, will I really not die like this? I thought I would die from this, but the woman burst into laughter. Sorry, I forgot to explain. I just wanted to plant this substance in your body. It's called black ether. What is that? Haven't you heard of it before? Do you know about poison devourers? Of course, they're very famous beings. In the past, they were very powerful existences, but after that incident, they vanished without a trace. And now they're objects of human hatred. But why do you bring this up? Could you be... That's right, I'm one of the poison devourers, but that was a long time ago. But aren't you afraid? Of course not, because you saved us. And I don't think you're an ordinary hunter either. Did I accidentally offend you? Not at all. Actually, you're quite right. Poison devourers are very special beings, and their special nature shows itself differently from ordinary people during the awakening period. For ordinary hunters, the death rate during awakening is 1%, which means it's very rare for ordinary hunters to die during awakening. But poison devourers are exactly the opposite. Most of them die during the awakening period, and their cause of death is always the same. During awakening, the poison in their bodies grows along with their body. When they can't control the poison within them, they suffer poison backlash and explode on the spot. Wait, that sounds exactly like what happened to me. That's right, I'm talking about you. The pain you experienced before was actually the process of awakening your abilities. Congratulations, you've become a poison devourer. The woman then grabbed the man, though there's still a lot to explain. Let's go outside and talk. Moments later, on the rooftop. You remember I said poison devourers have poison in their bodies, right? Do you know how we live with poison inside us? The answer is simple, because we're constantly healing from the poison. The woman pulled out a vial of poison and instantly injected it into the man. Poison devourers have incredibly powerful healing abilities. We're healing all the time. But it can't completely eliminate the poison, only purify it. And the source of power for purifying poison is black ether. Will there really be no problems? The man looked incredulous. Of course there won't be any problems. Consider this my first gift to you. Next, I'll teach you the basic skill of poison devourers, poison step. But didn't you say earlier that poison rain was your only skill? The woman instantly froze in place, then turned and fled the scene. Moments later, the man felt he could never learn such a thing. Are you giving up before even trying? You don't know how strong you've been from the beginning, so you don't understand me. How much humiliation have I endured? Though it sounds a bit like an excuse. The woman then said the previous teaching method wasn't suitable for him. I think this should be more suitable for you. From now on, you need to be very serious. She grabbed the man. The most important thing for humans is their senses. You need to concentrate all your attention on your feet, guide the power to that place. Kirill, isn't this joke a bit too much? The woman released the man. You need to work hard because if you don't succeed, you'll really die. You just need to use the wall to jump to the building across. Easier said than done, but how exactly should I do it? Either way, it's death. Might as well try her method. The man then concentrated his attention on his feet and tried to use his power. At this moment, countless thoughts interfered with the man. But the man wasn't swayed by any of them. How could I give up so easily without even trying? The man used the wall to bounce off and leap out. I can definitely do it. I didn't expect him to actually do it. But how should he land? Meanwhile, the woman gave her approval. Though you complained that you definitely couldn't do it, didn't you just succeed? Look, when you're determined to die, you can definitely succeed. The woman stared intently at the man, but the man didn't know what she was trying to do. Then text appeared in his eyes. Next, something like a chip was implanted in the man's eye. Is this high-end equipment that only hunters can use? That's right, but its performance is completely different from other equipment. Even the Glory Guild has never seen what it looks like, because these devices usually look like this, while ours is a miniature glasses type. Though this is a good thing, couldn't you have given it to me in a normal way? But are you planning to leave now? You're quite perceptive about these things. That's right, I'm being hunted, so I can't stay in the same place too long. Go find Dr. Kim. He's my partner, and he'll tell you everything. The device will tell you his location, and this is my final gift to you. Now it's time to say goodbye. Kid, though I don't know why you've helped me so much. The only thing I'm certain of is that you're not a bad person, so please let me help you. Even if it's something very difficult, as long as I can help, just say so. You can't help me now. You need to become stronger. To make enemies despair, to protect everyone, you must become much stronger. Can you promise me that? Of course, I promise you. That's a very firm answer. Seeing your expression, I don't think I need to worry about you anymore. Well then, until we meet again. Kirill disappeared before the man, and he now had an unwavering goal. So the man decided to go out and train. But what exactly did Kirill give me? Device detects this object as a large toad core. But how should I use it? The man held it and recalled the feeling of using poison step. The next second, the core transformed into countless energy and was absorbed into the man's body. Core state changed. Black ether generation rate 37%. It quickly reached 100%. Then came the notification. Black ether capacity increased from 1,000 to 1,500 cent. My black ether actually increased. The more cores I have, the stronger I can become. But how strong is my body now? Your current level is E rank. As you continue to increase black ether, your level will rise to S rank. I can actually become an S rank hunter. It seems that woman wasn't making empty promises when she said she could make me the strongest hunter. At this moment, an argument nearby caught the man's attention. A man was loudly scolding a mother and child. No entry without a permit. But my child is sick, what should I do? That's not my concern. If others get infected because of you, will you take responsibility? Previously ignoring those people and letting them die, now trying to control the situation. What a huge joke. Don't you think so? Do you know who I am? How dare you provoke me like this? I know, aren't you the famous Glory Guild? Since you know, how dare you speak to me like this? So what? He swung a wooden club and attacked the man, but was easily caught by the man. You know this counts as self-defense from now on, right? The man then crushed the wooden club. He was so scared he froze on the spot. The man threw a full force punch. The next second, he was knocked to the ground. The man then turned and left. Following the device, the man came to a phone booth. Can I really find Dr. Kim in a place like this? He pressed a button. The next second, the man fell straight down to the underground. What a terrifying design. But is that where I'm supposed to go? But then the man actually touched something slimy. It was blood. Why would there be blood in a place like this? Then an alarm sounded from the base. Unauthorized human intrusion, base entering defense mode. Instantly, countless poisonous gases poured out. Why did it turn out like this? Wait, poison seems to have no effect on me at all. So the man breathed with peace of mind. But the next second, urgent footsteps approached. Someone's coming. At this moment, he was guessing whether the man was enemy or ally. The moment he opened the door, the man suddenly tackled him to the ground. Damn it, you're trying to kill me. But looking closely, he had already fainted. Moments later, he realized he had been tied up by the man, then indicated to the man that he was Dr. Kim. But why did you set this trap? Because only Kirill and those hunters can find this place. I was once a great scientist, though I gained much honor from it. It also brought me mortal danger. Not only assassination groups from various countries, but even the Hunter Association. At first, I also sought help from others. But when I was betrayed, I stopped trusting anyone. Since then, I've been living in seclusion here, but over the years, quite a few people have still found me. But they all died in that room. Though I still can't completely trust you, there's an inexplicable sense of familiarity about you. This is because you're the child Kirill brought. Back then, it was her appearance that saved him. You two are really remarkably similar. I think the only similarity is that we're both poison devourers. Not quite. Actually, at first she also had spots all over her body like you, but there are no flaws on her body now. Dr. Kim then motioned for the man to follow him. Hae-seon, what do you think about the poison in your body? The man said he didn't have any particular thoughts about it. But the next words shocked the man greatly. One drop of poison from your body could instantly kill an A rank hunter. You possess incredibly powerful strength, but my current level is clearly E rank. Though I feel I've gotten stronger, I shouldn't be at the level of instantly killing a rank hunters, right? But that's the reality. However, for you now, this power is still too early. If you can't perfectly control this power, it will cause a disaster. Only through training can you master it perfectly. The spots on your body indicate you can't control the poison. Only when you can control the poison will they naturally disappear. I was the one who trained Kirill, so you don't need to worry at all. But what are you waiting for? Get moving. Dr. Kim then began training guidance for the man. Add another 50 kilograms to the weightlifting. The man gritted his teeth and completed the training. In the blink of an eye, 7 days passed. Many changes occurred during these 7 days. First, the doctor removed his mask, which I believe means he trusts me. Second, my sister woke up, though she gave me a thorough scolding for not being there when she woke up. I still tried to find other excuses to make my sister trust me. Third, the doctor modified my equipment and brought out new equipment. From design to development took only 3 days. Finally, my body underwent changes. You can see the spots have clearly faded considerably. Even I find it hard to believe. The man was currently undergoing black ether enhancement training. But doctor, don't you feel bored, living here alone, with only canned food to eat every day? Actually, I'm not alone. Isn't he already climbing on your shoulder? The man looked curiously to the side. It was actually a small poison dragon. He's my friend, named Barley. Haven't you heard of poison dragons that are harmless to humans? But he has another special trait. He can absorb poison from his host. And he's been with you for 2 days already, but I've been training so long without any awareness. It's understandable that you didn't notice, because this guy has invisibility abilities. That's a very rare ability. Meanwhile, the media has calmed this incident, but the open gate crowd is dissatisfied with this person. Wait, increase the task load for groups 1 and 2 by 30%. This person is the Glory Guild President, Lone Spear. Also have the third group members investigate the special situation at the open gate. We must ensure the experiment is completed, and I don't want to hear the term open gate anymore. Please find a way to resolve this, if you still want to stay by my side. Also, do you know where Maria went? The man stammered and couldn't speak. Could it be she locked herself in the treatment room again? This is one of Glory Guild's secrets. This is a room specifically for self-torture. And the reason she tortures herself every day is the guilt of not being able to protect the children. Maria, we did our best. Her behavior is simply too extreme. If it were anyone else, they would have died from severe injuries long ago, but her healing ability is incredibly powerful. She can heal herself the instant she's harmed, and she's also the symbol of Glory Guild, because she's the world's strongest healer. President, we could clearly save more people. Why couldn't we do it? Why did those people have to sacrifice themselves? This time it was my misjudgment. If you had let me participate in the operation, even if you saved one more person, I could have brought them back to life. The monster that appeared at the open gate this time was disaster level. Though I don't know who killed it, that wasn't something we could easily handle. The president then put on an innocent act in front of her. It's all my misjudgment that caused this. It's all my fault. But behind the scenes, he was already tired of this approach. Maria, I completely understand your feelings. If you're really distressed, why not go to the hunter examination site to clear your mind? Because we need to recruit more excellent hunters to save more humans. The woman then agreed to the president's suggestion. But who exactly killed that kind of monster? And who created this huge crater? Meanwhile, the man planned to become a hunter after finishing his training, but didn't want to become just an ordinary hunter. Rather, he wanted to try becoming a healer. I won't increase the number of innocent victims. I just want to bring hope to people like Kirill did. On the other side, healers are very rare, though I don't care how many humans die. If they're guild members, that's another matter. It seems the only thing we can confirm right now is to make a trip to the hunter examination site. Moments later, the man bid farewell to Dr. Kim. The little poison dragon beside him also expressed wanting to go along. Well then, Barley, I'm entrusting Hae-seon to your care. The man who just returned home was thoroughly scolded by his sister. Sister, let me explain. Moments later, the man confessed everything that had happened. But is that person who saved you really okay? Maybe even her name is fake. Most importantly, she has no reason to help us. That person is not a bad person. You must remember that anyone who helps others has ulterior motives. Maybe in the future you'll have to repay for this help. Forget it. So now you want to become a hunter? Yes, I want to save people. I don't want to see events similar to the open gate incident happen again. Though I don't know if I can do it, I want to try. His sister encouraged the man. Don't worry, you'll definitely become an impressive hunter. But in her heart, she worried about her brother more than anyone. I'll definitely work hard. But I heard the registration fee is extremely expensive. Meanwhile, the man came to a forest. This would be the place where the man's dreams would come true. Poison Dungeon. Not only is the dungeon filled with poison, it can even affect the surrounding environment, making it a notoriously infamous dungeon. The man then took a deep breath and entered the dungeon. The interior of the dungeon was unexpectedly vast, like being in a game world. Then poisonous gas began to spread. If other hunters came here, they wouldn't be able to breathe at all. But that's irrelevant to me. I hope I can smoothly find that plant. At this moment, a monster suddenly appeared before his eyes. It probably hasn't noticed me, right? Monster physical attack level E rank, other levels D rank, difficulty 2 stars. Other levels refer to attack types beyond physical abilities, such as controlling elements and poison. These types of attacks are collectively called other. That means this monster's poison is only 2 stars, while its other attributes are all lower than mine. But why do I feel so nervous? My fingers won't stop trembling. At this moment, previous experiences flashed through his mind. Damn it, I need to calm down. Then, a shout brought the man back to reality. It was the little poison dragon. Thanks to you, I feel much better. But where did he run off to? Countless poison lizards kept approaching the man. The man pulled out the new equipment Dr. Kim had given him. The doctor believed the man would definitely need a weapon in the future. You just need to shout "activate" to use it. The device is normally in cube form, and when activated by injecting black ether, it will transform. A short blade appeared out of thin air. Though it can only become a short blade for now, it's sufficient. Well then, the hunt begins. The man lightly swung once, and killed a group of lizards on the spot. Damn it, blood splattered on me. If my sister finds out, she'll worry about me again. The man is converting monsters into black ether. This dungeon full of monsters is simply paradise for the man to increase his black ether. Including this one, the man has now absorbed 50 monsters. However, this short blade is ridiculously overpowered. Although its performance strength depends on the user's black ether, this is still somewhat exaggerated. That monster was merely scratched, but died before it could even struggle. This short blade combined with my poison has become an almost invincible existence. Does this mean I might have already become the strongest hunter? Thinking this, the man eagerly opened his status window, expecting to have S-rank physical attack, or at least B rank at worst. But the result left the man utterly disappointed. His physical attack level was actually E rank. Wait, why is the healing level S rank? Well, it seems I'm destined to become a healer. Should I go home now? Unfortunately, I didn't find that plant, but the next dungeon should have it. At this moment, a powerful aura struck. It was actually a B rank hunting dog. Hunting dog, physical level C rank, other levels B rank. Warning, target's combat power exceeds equipment users. Damn, this guy is definitely a boss. Although my poison level is certainly higher than its, the problem lies in the physical attack level. My physical level is 2 whole ranks lower than its. Do I have a chance of winning against it? The man signaled Barley to calm down. The next second, the hunting dog launched an attack on the man. Damn, why is its speed so fast? Before the man could react, his arm was severely injured. I couldn't even see its movement clearly. Am I going to die here? No, I will never give up like this. I've experienced countless life and death separations. I absolutely won't die in a place like this. The hunting dog sat quietly to the side. Could it be waiting for the poison to spread? What an arrogant guy. But precisely because of this, I have a chance to win. Your arrogance will cost you your life here. Come here, damn hunting dog. The hunting dog suddenly launched a fierce attack toward the man. I must first exhaust its stamina. For this, I can only trust my highest level healing ability. Initially, the healing ability existed only to purify toxins in the body. But interestingly, after purifying the toxins, there's still plenty of healing ability left. When the toxins in the body are completely controlled, healing is no longer needed. So will the remaining healing ability disappear? The answer is no. The remaining healing ability will circulate through the body and continuously perform healing. Dr. Kim also knew this, so he designed a new device for the man, the healing circulator. Now, the second round of battle begins. The man and hunting dog fought back and forth, but each confrontation left the man severely injured, yet the man would recover from his injuries afterward. This hunting dog is even harder to deal with than imagined. The next second, the hunting dog attacked again. Damn, doesn't it ever get tired? Each of its attacks causes me massive damage. Damn, the wounds on my body are getting worse. If this continues, my chances of winning will become even slimmer, but I've gradually adapted to its attacks. It still looks so composed, but the man knew he was approaching his limit. The hunting dog knocked him flying dozens of meters away. Such incredible power. I can barely hold on. Facing the hunting dog that seemed at ease, the man launched another attack, but was easily dodged. Then the man coughed up blood. I cannot fall. Then the hunting dog launched an even more ferocious attack. It seems I can only wait for a miracle to happen. Recalling earlier when the doctor learned that the man had successfully summoned the Red Viper. You must know that's not a power ordinary people can use. Surviving it is simply a miracle. Meanwhile, the device sent information, due to continuous combat with powerful opponents. The equipment user's black ether is changing. Black ether value has reached saturation, detecting the man's body level. The man took all the attacks head-on. Conditions met. User's body level upgraded from E rank to D rank. It seems miracles do happen after all. The man used poison walk. Why is the speed so fast? Both reflexes and speed have improved tremendously compared to before, but the hunting dog's level is still C rank, so it's still somewhat difficult for me to handle. However, this will be my final strike. But is it really necessary to wrap black ether around my entire body? I just want to focus on attacking. Since I only have one chance, I'm willing to give it a try. But if I just charge in like this, unable to control my speed, I might die. Then I'll use this stance for the attack. As long as I use this stance, even if I can't perfectly control my speed, I can still kill it. The man concentrated black ether in his feet. In an instant, the man used poison walk to approach the hunting dog. Before the hunting dog could react, it was killed on the spot by the man. Finally, it's over. But what about my clothes? I hope next time I encounter a simple dungeon. The scene shifts to the man being chased by a massive spider. Damn, what the hell is going on? The man recalled earlier events. He had just eliminated the hunting dog, which should have been an incredibly glorious achievement. But when he returned to the city, he was mocked by everyone for being shirtless. His sister also scolded him severely. What a shameful day. If these things hadn't happened, I wouldn't have come out, and wouldn't have encountered such a terrifying creature. The spider slammed the man against the wall, but this allowed the man to discover something rare. It was actually the legendary mysterious flower. Finally found it, the plant I've been searching for so long. Depending on the dungeon's difficulty, the plants come in different colors: gold, silver, and red. What the man found was the lowest grade bronze sunflower. Although it's the lowest grade plant, it's worth tens of millions, because it has healing abilities that surpass S-rank healers. And the golden sunflower can even create miracles. But they usually grow in poison dungeons and have dormant characteristics. However, the troublesome thing is this boss in front of me. Although this boss is lower grade than the previous hunting dog, if I kill the boss, the bronze sunflower will die along with it. I can only subdue the boss while picking the flower, but my abilities cannot achieve subduing the boss. Is there no method I can use? The device sent information there is. The short blade in his hand was instantly enveloped in white light. Switching to non-lethal mode, White Dream. Non-lethal mode, White Dream, the short blade's second mode, capable of causing sleep and paralysis effects on enemies. This is the doctor's custom mode, designed out of concern that the user might focus too much on attacking. But why are you only telling me this now? The device responded, the user never inquired about it. Whatever, let's deal with that guy first. The man quietly approached the spider. In just an instant, the massive spider fell into deep sleep. This mode seems quite useful. Now I should collect that flower. I wonder how those two are doing. They kept insisting I search for this plant. Recalling earlier, both had said this plant was extremely important. You need to put in tremendous effort to find it. Then the man came to the underground market. Barley, if there are any suspicious people, I'll take them out. The man was searching for a place to trade the bronze sunflower, but there was no place here that seemed to buy and sell this flower. Just then, a scream caught the man's attention. It was Barley grabbing a red-haired girl. What are you doing? I'm sorry, I'll heal you right away. But the next second, the girl chose to run away. There are really quite a few strange people in this market. The girl used stealth skills and quickly escaped. Only then did the man realize his flower had been stolen. It seems we need to catch up with her quickly. Meanwhile, the girl was hiding nearby, gasping for breath. Did I finally shake him off? I thought he was so capable, yet he put such a valuable item in a black plastic bag. What a complete fool. But the next second, the man appeared right in front of her. Who are you calling a fool? Cut the chatter. If you return my item now, I'll still forgive what you've done. Since I can't beat you, I'll return the item to you. But you must agree to one condition. I'm a native of this place. I know every route here, even those mysterious places. For example, places that can handle sunflowers. These items are usually managed by the association, and since they're extremely rare, they don't circulate in the market. So, what do you want? I'll recommend a good shop for you to trade with, but I need a cut. Of course, you take 60%, I take 40%. I didn't expect this guy to be so cunning. Looks like we need to scare her a bit. Are you kidding me? I was going to let you go, but now it seems I must kill you. The girl trembled with fear. Stop trying to fool me. If I hide, you'll never find me. Doesn't the place where you were bitten itch? It's capable of killing even S-rank hunters. Then a powerful aura struck. A red viper appeared before their eyes. Although it wasn't a real red viper, it was enough to terrify her. Don't get it wrong, no matter where you flee, I can find you, understand? The girl was already incoherent with fear. The man realized he might have gone too far, so he dispelled the illusion and introduced himself to the girl. Hello, I'm Hae-seon. And you? The girl stammered that her name was Dagger. Then please lead the way for me. Here we are, this is the place. It seems you've brought me an interesting person. So what good stuff have you brought? Are you the boss here? But it's just an ordinary trade. Why does the boss need to come out personally? Because my daughter said a guest came from outside, and as a father, I naturally need to personally confirm. The man decided to complete the trade and leave quickly. So are you willing to trade this bronze sunflower with me? Of course, because our recent supply has been insufficient. But I have one condition. If you can kill it. A hunting dog appeared before them. Since you can collect this sunflower, it means you have the strength to defeat a boss, and a mere hunting dog shouldn't be a problem, right? If you lose, I won't buy this item. So will you choose to run away, or risk your life for this trade? The man instantly killed the hunting dog on the spot. So how much are you willing to offer? Very interesting. It seems my daughter brought someone with real ability. So will you pay first? But the next second, the girl immediately said, "How dare you be so rude to my father?" But was instantly suppressed by the boss, who gave you permission to speak. Then a powerful pressure struck toward the man. Damn, this is actually killing intent. Just because his daughter said one wrong thing, he releases such killing intent. This person must be insane. And just the killing intent alone causes me such damage. He's the craziest person I've ever met. The boss then offered 60 million for the flower. Hearing this, the man immediately said he'd even be willing to be his son. The man then healed the girl's injuries. Moments later, the man happily left the place. Are all the scars on your body healed? Yes, but don't worry, the scars father left me are still there, looking at the black ether residue on the ground. I understand why you were fooled by his illusion. This sticky feeling reminds me of that terrifying figure from years ago. Stand up, you can still fight, can't you? Don't tell me you want to maintain your sanity while being torn apart? Damn, that's really an unpleasant memory. After trading the sunflower, the man came to the Hunter Association. "Hello, I'm here to register." However, the man's appearance was scorned by others. After handling the registration, they urged the man to leave quickly. It's embarrassing to have someone like this register as a healer. The man was on his way home, but was attracted by an ant nearby. "Please explain, Glory Guild. Why abandon the humans of the open cave? Why did my son have to die there?" The man, feeling the same pain, was powerless about this. He could only silently make a resolution in his heart. A figure approached. He was from the Glory Guild, rank 1. He warned the ant again. "I made it very clear last time. If you cause trouble again, I won't let you off. Do you need this to understand?" He raised his fist to strike the ant heavily, but was stopped by the man. "What are you doing? Please answer my question first. I'm just doing my job." A guild member using violence against a civilian. Are you insane? "I'm just performing official duties." "But who are you anyway?" "I'm a candidate for this hunter exam." "Then quietly leave while I'm still being nice." "What if I can't?" "Then you'll get beaten up." The ant shouted. "Child, be careful. Don't worry, because I'm definitely going to win." "You little brat, such big words. I warned you." The man pinned him to the ground. "This kid is definitely not just a simple candidate. If the guild has employees like you, the world's end isn't far off. You damn bastard, I'll kill you. If you can do it, go ahead and try. But wearing this badge really damages the guild's reputation." At this moment, the guild president approached. "Could this be a high-ranking guild official? If you don't want to cause unrest, please leave here. S rank is the goal all hunters strive for their entire lives. Death, despair, failure. These are experiences all hunters will face, but they're different. S rank hunters never fear these things. When facing powerful monsters, they display overwhelming strength. When facing any desperate situation, they can always create miracles. This is the pinnacle of hunters, S rank hunters." Before the man stood the legendary S rank hunter, lone gun, profession, warrior. S rank hunter, Maria, profession, healer. "I heard there was unrest, so I came to investigate. Are you the one who used violence against a hunter guild hunter? Even if you have strength, that's not how you should use it. Don't talk nonsense." "What are you saying? Are you sure I shouldn't have stopped his actions?" "I know candidates shouldn't assault hunters, but can hunters use force against civilians? If that's the case, then I was wrong." The president glanced at Maria, then apologized to the man. "I'm sorry, this was my oversight. You're right, I'll severely punish the perpetrator. As for the victim, I'll have the vice president handle it. Although you're quite reasonable, don't you need to go with them? You really don't know? That ant lives in the open cave. I heard all her children died in that incident. What a tragic event. This was something you could have prevented." "President, the area around the Hunter Association is very clean indeed. But there's still blood in the open cave that hasn't been cleaned up." "That's right, I'm also a human from the open cave. First, congratulations on your successful mission. You saved many victims, what a blessing. But why didn't you go to the open cave?" "Although I initially tried to understand you. But did you really have no capacity left to save the humans of the open cave? If the Glory Guild had arrived at the scene, at least half the deaths could have been prevented. Were you afraid you might lose your life?" "Explain yourself." "First, you're too emotional. Your vision is too narrow, you can't even grasp the current situation. I can understand your hot-blooded nature, but at least when talking to me, you should calmly express your meaning. So what? You're just the #1 ranked hunter." A fierce aura struck. Powerful energy instantly shot toward the sky. "That's enough, you're extremely rude. It seems you're very confident in your abilities." Purple energy swirled together. "You asked if I'm confident in my abilities? Actually, I don't know, so I want to try." Meanwhile, everyone noticed the black ether lone gun released. On the other side, the president said if the man committed theft, he would let it slide. But the man simply raised his middle finger in salute. "Looks like you're digging your own grave. This will be a valuable lesson for you." His large hand struck out, but was stopped by Maria. Instantly, a golden barrier blocked his attack. "President, I know you want to encourage this candidate, but what if civilians get hurt by accident?" People envied the man for having the president personally demonstrate. Watching the discussing crowd, the president instantly changed his expression. "This is a rather practical skill. I wonder if you learned anything." "Don't make that expression. I have a feeling we'll meet often in the future." Maria then apologized to the man. "Regarding the open cave incident, I have nothing to say. I promise to provide appropriate compensation to those victims. The open cave was originally under the Glory Guild's jurisdiction, yet you ignored it completely. What's strongest, what miracle, what compensation? It's no help to those who died. Please stop, President. He's not wrong about anything. We did make mistakes. Maybe in others' eyes I'm a bad person. But those who died because of this were real people." Thinking of how his sister was nearly harmed by them made the man's heart ache. "Stop treating human lives as stepping stones for your careers." "Wait, may I ask what profession you're applying for?" "Healer. Although I can't save everyone, I will never abandon them." I didn't expect he was actually a healer. I think his black ether is too wild, but I hope as a healer he can provide tremendous value. Meanwhile, if I fought him, I'd have no chance of winning. Although Maria stopped the fight in time, but in just that instant, I even felt like a mountain was standing before me. I thought I had become stronger, but it seems I'm still far from it. When the man returned home, he found Dagger had been waiting at home for a long time. The man immediately threw her out. Wait, isn't it too heartless to treat a friend like this? If you get this close to me again next time, I'll kill you without hesitation. His sister punched him, knocking the man to the ground instantly. A friend comes to visit, and you drive she away. How hurtful is that? Moments later, I don't want to do anything to your sister. But why did you have such a strong reaction? First, setting you aside, I deeply distrust your father. Although nothing happened during the trade, he has too many secrets. What if he implanted something in you? My sister would face danger. Dagger then said, although I can't be certain he wouldn't do such things. But my father should want to be friends with you, because he even sent me to support you. That's just a way of monitoring me. I heard the sunflower supply keeps decreasing, and the association monitors all this. When someone with a sunflower wants to trade just happens to appear, if I were him, I'd monitor that person too. You really figured it out. Then Dagger introduced her background. Her father and she have no blood relation. She was just a vagrant then, but father's appearance took her in, although I don't know why he left scars on my face. But it seems father quite likes you. Otherwise, anyone else being so rude would have been dismembered on the spot. Later, they arrived at their destination. I heard this dungeon contains silver sunflowers. Does that mean this dungeon's boss is extremely powerful? Yes, so I hope you can return safely. Of course, because I'm the Dungeon King. Dagger pulled out a potion from her bag. This is a potion that can lure monsters. Just dig a trap and pour it in, then wait for prey to fall into the net. But the man poured the potion all over himself. What are you doing? Why seek death? Don't worry, I'll kill them all. Then she threw the man a golden pill. This pill has detoxifying effects. Eat it, and you can stay in the dungeon for 3 full hours. But the man said he didn't need it, because entering the dungeon is like coming home. After entering the dungeon, the man was chased by a group of monsters. Goblins, physical level E rank, other levels D rank, difficulty 1 star. This group of goblins numbers several hundred, although numerous. These monsters will all become my experience points. The man instantly drew his short blade, then used Poison Walk. As a figure flashed by, countless slashes fell, instantly killing the monsters before him. Seeing this, the monsters immediately scattered in terror. But how could they escape the man's grasp? The man lightly made a few cuts. The goblins died from poison on the spot. This is too easy. For dealing with such low-level monsters, nothing is more suitable than this short blade. But thinking about it, this short blade seems to only have 2 modes. Should I ask the device? Forget it, I believe I'll find the answer in the upcoming hunt. Now the man had eliminated all the goblins, so he checked his status window. His Poison Walk level had risen to level 2. Just with low-level body speed, it's already ridiculously fast. If I upgrade my body level, the speed will be godlike. But I still haven't seen any silver sunflowers. Obviously, these guys wouldn't be the dungeon's boss. Could it be in the desert? The man jumped down from the goblin. A figure was moving rapidly through the desert, heading straight toward the man. The next second, a 1,000-legged centipede appeared before him. 1,000-legged centipede, physical level B rank, other levels A rank, difficulty 4 stars. Looks like I can finish this early today. The man jumped in front of the centipede. But this guy seems a bit tough to handle. The man ran back and forth on the centipede's body. Damn, this guy's shell is so hard. The man tried attacking the same spot repeatedly, but to no effect. The centipede suddenly launched an attack at him, but the man dodged it. If I had dodged any later, I would have died. But such a massive body made the man instantly troubled, because attacks that can't penetrate the shell are useless. And the most troublesome thing is that although Poison Walk is a great skill, using it requires a solid ground. If used in the soft desert, its power would be reduced by at least half. But the man still felt very lucky, because while in the air, he spotted that silver sunflower. Although somewhat blurry, the man was certain that was the legendary silver sunflower. But even knowing the location, the man didn't think he could break through that guy and get the sunflower without any advantage. The centipede suddenly launched an attack at the man, but the man slipped and took all of the centipede's attacks head-on. Damn, it feels like all my joints are broken. The man endured the pain and healed his body. If this continues, I'll definitely die. But how can I collect the sunflower? If even this mode can't pierce it, switching to White Dream would be useless too. At this moment, the short blade seemed to hear the man's thoughts. In an instant, it began self-disassembly, then performed equipment reconfiguration. The next second, all fragments attached to his shoes. Wearing the shoes, the man instantly felt extraordinary, just like standing on solid ground. With this, I can pierce its shell. The centipede suddenly attacked him, but the man appeared very calm. He used Poison Walk and instantly dodged its attack. A series of fluid movements without the monster even scratching him. Just then, the man discovered the legendary sunflower, then collected it. Now I just need to make it fall asleep. The man summoned White Dream. Although killing it would yield a core, this dungeon is under association surveillance. If caught illegally entering a dungeon, I probably couldn't even become a hunter. Because if the boss is killed, the dungeon will disappear too, so the man decided to use White Dream mode to put it to sleep. But how should I pierce its shell? The man suddenly remembered. The short blade changed only after hearing his thoughts. Maybe the dagger's changes are related to the user's will. The man began imagining, and the short blade changed according to his imagination. In an instant, it transformed into the optimal form for piercing enemies. The man threw it with all his might. The drill rushed straight toward the monster. The next second, the drill pierced right through the centipede. Then the centipede fell into deep sleep. It was because of it that this took so long. But what is Dagger doing now? Meanwhile, Dagger had been waiting outside the dungeon for over 7 hours. The man emerged from the dungeon holding his beloved sunflower, but was surprised to find Dagger still hadn't left. So he warmly greeted her. But Dagger looked displeased. "Is that all you have to say? I waited for you for over 7 hours." Looking at the poisoned dagger spread throughout his body, and the messy medical kit behind him, the man knew the dagger had become this way because of him. So he raised his hand to heal it, and then the two happily returned home. 2 months later, they got along very well during this period, and harvested 5 bronze sunflowers and 1 silver sunflowers. But during this time, the man discovered the dagger would say the same words at the same time, and the words were filled with fear of father. Wasn't it the one we saw at the market? Whatever, both fathers aren't good people anyway. Time came to morning. The two were preparing to go to the market for trading, and sister said goodbye to the dagger. "During these 2 months, I've already considered you as my younger sister. You can visit my house anytime. I will always be waiting for you." The dagger's eyes filled with tears, expressing that she would definitely visit again. The two came to the underground market, and in the distance 2 people were arguing, even getting physical. Just then a figure stopped them. "If you continue, I won't stand by and watch. Are you that father from the market?" "No, I'm just a janitor who solves troubles." At this moment, the man felt that Uncle was definitely someone who could crush that man, because he could feel the same aura as Lone Gun from him, although that man was much stronger than imagined. Tiger Guild member, Shim. Profession, warrior. Body level B grade. Possessing skill, overwhelming strength, inherent trait, berserk level 2. At this time, Shim asked Uncle, "If he deceived you, what would you do?" And Uncle replied, "This is the market. As long as the transaction is completed, then it's reasonable." At this moment, Shim suddenly launched an attack on Uncle. "I did give you a chance." Uncle grabbed and subdued Shim on the spot with one hand. At this time, Shim was already beaten black and blue, yet he appeared unusually excited, because he activated his inherent skill, Berserk. Then he launched a fierce attack on Uncle. However, he soon realized something was wrong. Uncle moved smoothly to behind him. The furious Shim threw another heavy punch, but the next second, the fist struck directly into his own face. Even the man found it unbelievable. What on earth was happening? Could a skill do this? And whenever Shim launched an attack on him, it could be easily resolved. He couldn't even touch him. "Are you feeling scared? Don't worry, I'll finish you off quickly." Uncle suddenly launched an attack, and while Shim was in a daze, the uncle in front of him actually manifested into 3 figures. Rest well. With Uncle's punch coming, the man fell to the ground. It seems Shim's strength was also formidable to last this long against Uncle. At this time, the dagger greeted Uncle and called other janitors to come clean up the trouble, and the man only felt that Uncle was unfathomable, using such intense movement, yet he didn't seem to be breathing hard at all. And that move just now was definitely not something an ordinary person could do. At this time, the man curiously used his device, wanting to check all his information, but was prompted that all target data had been erased, connecting to database. Could he not be a hunter? At this time, the device connected to the database successfully, then sent his information, name, Wu Jihao, age 49, traits unconfirmable. It seems too much data was deleted, didn't get much useful information. At this time, the device was confirming the body level that was deleted, and the man felt Uncle's body level was at least S grade, but the man was very curious about what Uncle's profession actually was. Then the device sent information. Confirmed body level at that time, E grade. Actually, E grade, this is impossible, because E grade could never beat an E grade hunter. At this time, Uncle interrupted the man's thoughts. "I heard you helped miss a great deal. If you don't mind, I'll take you to father." Then the man followed them to the trading location. "This sunflowers is worth a total of 750 million. For this transaction, I almost went bankrupt. But I heard you registered for the hunter exam, applying for the profession of healer. Could you tell me why you did this? Perhaps you've already realized this. Healing is just part of my power. I'm not an ordinary hunter. Although I have goals I want to pursue, if I use too much of my original power, then I'll lose the qualification to become a hunter. So I chose to become a healer. Although there are other reasons, I cannot reveal them to you." Then father indicated today's transaction was over. But the man refused. "I think the transaction isn't finished. I don't know what you're doing, but I'll listen to your words, but if I find out you're talking nonsense, you better be mentally prepared. So what exactly do I owe you?" "Information fee. I revealed my information after all. But my daughter already reported your information to me. What if I don't plan to give it to you? Are you joking? You're my most trusted dealer. Either pay me the information fee or break our current relationship. Which choice do you think would be most beneficial to you?" How interesting. First, this transaction doesn't exist at all, but you know how to use these things to benefit yourself. I appreciate you. So what do you want? The man raised his hand, pointing at Uncle. "I want to learn his techniques. Actually wanting to learn fighting techniques. This doesn't seem very cost-effective for you, because even adding the 750 million you just took wouldn't be nearly enough, as expected. Then consider it as something I owe you." At this time, the dagger was angrily scolding the man. "Why do you want to owe father? Did you forget what I told you? He's such a terrifying existence. Although I understand the dagger's worry, I have reasons I must do this. I'm very curious, why do you want to go to such lengths? Because aren't weapons better the stronger they are? Similarly, although I only looked once, I think those are very useful techniques. The Poison Eater's lethality is already very powerful, but I still lack a lot of experience. Although I've defeated many monsters before that all relied on the explosive nature of poison cloth, my own attacks are no different from ordinary people. And I also think this attack pattern won't always be effective. Most hunters' levels rarely change dramatically when awakening, which means his current body level is very likely around E grade, and his technique power even exceeds my imagination. For this I would give everything to learn it. So are you willing to trade with me? And father gave a crooked smile. Are you really willing to risk everything? The man immediately expressed, of course. Very good. I accept this trade, but it's not convenient now. Come when I notify you, because we also need to prepare. But you can take this. After training ends, I'll tell you what I really want. Then we'll see each other next time. But I'm curious, why don't you choose to learn from me? The man immediately refused. I don't want to die too early yet, but now I only have the hunter exam left. At this time, the dagger called out to the man, expressing that you must work hard in the hunter exam. Of course, I'll get first place. At this time, the hunter exam was officially announced to begin. Countless candidates frantically rushed into the examination venue, and the seniors were very much looking forward to meeting S-grade candidates. At this time, Liu Jiuan nearby attracted many people's attention because he was the reserve hunter that everyone was very focused on. And at this time, he immediately expressed his views to the public. I will become an excellent healer to protect all humanity because I possess powerful healing abilities. And a hunter nearby expressed his view. I have no expectations for this hunter. He's like other hunters, only focusing on his own interests. For him, becoming a hunter is just to reach higher positions. When the guild president was bedridden, Jiang Xian began to fall, even spreading those dirty rumors about Lone Gun, because he had a good image. So Lone Gun's career wasn't affected at all. But the reality is that humans no longer trust hunters. Thinking carefully, there were indeed hunters with strong sense of responsibility before, although that incident happened long ago. The only strongest hunter in the world that everyone trusted. At the same time, a figure walked forward. Hello, I want to apply to become a healer. Please state your name. And the next second, he was attracted by the face in front of him. Hello, my name is Hae-seon. The scene changed. The man accidentally knocked down hunter Liu Jiuan on his way to the exam. So the man apologized to him, but he still wouldn't let it go. Even knocked down his phone, then pretended to apologize. Then warned him, I don't want you to steal my spotlight. And is that outfit of yours picked from a garbage dump? Hearing this, the man immediately called out to him. What a foul mouth. Then grabbed his clothes. Apologize to me immediately, you damn bastard. At this time, the broadcast announced, first round test begins. Please candidates stand on the corresponding awakening value measuring device. Then, he made a proposal to the man. How about we compare our values? The loser pays the winner 10 million. And the man wasn't to be outdone, immediately expressing if you dare go back on your word, you're dead. At the same time, Maria was very surprised by Jiuan's changes. Previously only level 1, but now observing his black ether content, it's estimated to be B grade or above. I wonder what the president thinks? I'm not clear because I can't observe black ether like you. But Maria discovered that Jiuan frequently visits our research facilities. But every time he visits, his black ether grows rapidly. It seems he has unspeakable secrets behind him. At this time, the test finally came to the two of them. Please both place your hands on the measuring device. Is it finally coming? This generation's most potential hunter. Liu Jiuan. He's the vice president's son. His strength must be extraordinary. But Liu Jiuan appeared very disdainful, because he felt first place was definitely his. He confidently placed his hand on the measuring device. The next second, the core emitted golden light. Then countless black ether floated down from the air. And this scene left everyone on the scene stunned. Is this the gap between us and him? Candidate Liu Jiuan's awakening value total 9,103. Test result qualified. Although it's just a simple value measurement, this kind of value is rare even among B-grade hunters. And he thought that after the man witnessed the gap between them, he would choose to retreat. But unexpectedly, the man walked forward. Are you still trying to struggle? The man placed his hand on the measuring device. In an instant, the core emitted golden light. Then a surge of energy shot straight into the sky. This scene left everyone on the scene dumbfounded. Even the president felt very surprised. Then the test result came. Candidate number 117, Hae-seon. Value cannot be determined. Could the machine have malfunctioned? At this time, Liu Jiuan nearby couldn't help but laugh out loud. Could your value be so low that even the measuring device can't calculate it? And at this time, the examiner walked forward. Due to problems with the measuring device, candidate number 117 will be retested. Please all candidates on scene step back immediately. Hello, I'm Chief Examiner Biao He. Sorry to disturb you, but could you please test again? What is this machine? This machine is very sensitive. You just need to release a little dark mystery and it can judge accurately. At this time, the man nearby suddenly remembered something. Do you know what that is? That's a golden core. A core that only bosses with danger level 7 stars or above have. This machine was specially made for those monsters whose values can't be measured. This also means that man's dark mystery content isn't too low but ridiculously high, although I never thought this situation would occur. But still, congratulations, Hae-seon. Awakening value 100,000. Test result qualified. The next second, the entire venue instantly erupted. They kept shouting, "A new S-grade hero is born." Then they surrounded the man completely, and the man could only helplessly use poison cloth to escape. This is really too scary. At this time, Liu Zhiyuan nearby approached with a dark face. "Do you have something to say to me? Please speak louder." He gritted his teeth, not knowing what to say. Then the man threw him a note. "Remember to transfer the money on time." And looking at the note in his hand, "I will definitely kill you, Hae-seon." At the same time, two people had already set their sights on him, and they were respectively the president and vice president of Bixiao Guild. The Golden Core's maximum value is 100,000, but this guy's limit value is definitely more than this. Last year, all the capable guys were snatched away. This year, we must keep this one no matter what method we use. We must be spirited. This time, we absolutely cannot let him be snatched away. And Lone Gun nearby was unusually excited. "I thought he was just an ordinary earthworm, didn't expect him to be a dragon." Moments later, the second test began. "So this means I'm supposed to heal this guy?" A huge white tiger lay in front of the man. If the first round exam was measuring values, then the second round was actual combat. Because black ether content doesn't represent everything, only through actual healing ability can comprehensive evaluation be made. And the test subjects were injured monsters. If you could heal them, then you'd be judged as qualified. At this time, candidates nearby looked at the man in surprise, because his test subject was the largest existence among all monsters on scene. And the man was very curious. How was a monster that seemed stronger than a centipede caught? What exactly is this guy's identity? Even the equipment can't detect his information. But other candidates' test subjects were all small monsters. As long as they passed the first test qualified, they could definitely pass this test. Damn, it seems my test will be harder than imagined. So how should I heal this big guy? And at this time, a voice came. "Is that you? The one who wants to kill me?" But the man looked confused. "Can only I hear this? But what does he mean? Playing dumb is what you humans are best at. Wasn't it you who damaged my core? You seem to misunderstand me, but I'm not here to kill you. I'm here to save you. My core has already been damaged. What can you use to save me? Are you just a braggart? Whether I'm bragging or not, you'll know in a moment." The man gently raised his right hand. Then countless black ether enveloped the white tiger. And the two people nearby were very surprised. Not to mention black ether, his healing technique is very skilled. Is this guy really a current candidate? Human, it seems you're not treating someone for the first time. Your skill is very practiced, but you should know that treating me is also very dangerous for you. It's nothing, because if you die, my test would also be unqualified. Would I believe you'd risk your life for a test? If you don't want to die, then end the treatment early. You don't care if I die or not, but you're not as bad as I imagined. At this time, the man increased the energy released from his hand. "Don't worry, I'm very strong, just accept the treatment properly. But can you heal the wounds on my body?" "Of course, if you're willing." "Really an interesting guy, you treat monsters the same as humans. But don't humans see monsters as enemies?" "Indeed so. Monsters choose to harm humans to fill their stomachs. But some humans are even worse than monsters. But since there are people who appear to save monsters, then there will definitely be monsters that save humans. Would it be like that?" Moments later, the man finished the treatment. "I've completed the treatment. Remember to use the after-sale service properly." "What's that?" "While treating you, I secretly corroded the iron chains on your body." "Corrosion? Are you really a healer?" "Of course, just can't say too much now. You should take this time to escape." But the white tiger fell into contemplation. "This is the first time I've met someone like you. Let me choose to trust you. This is the familiar feeling I've encountered again after him. Actually, I'm not a monster. I'm an existence you call a spirit. Great guardian of the Earth's spirit realm, Taiji." Then the white tiger asked for his name. "I am Hae-seon, who will become the strongest hunter. I will bet on the proof of my existence. Half of my life will belong to you. I will look forward to your future." "I'm very happy you would say that." At the same time, the examiner announced the passing list. Candidate number 117, Hae-seon, test qualified. On the other side, candidate Liu Zhiyuan was trembling nervously nearby, because his treatment had no effect on the monster at all. And at this time, the second round test time ended. Then the examiner indicated he should end the test immediately, but he requested the examiner to give him 1 more minute. At the same time, the broadcast announced, "Second round test ended. Please all candidates stop what you're doing." Damn, which bastard is it? At the same time, Chief Examiner Biao he announced on the spot, "Candidate Liu Zhiyuan's result is unqualified." Then walked toward him. "We should treat the exam fairly and justly. This is what the association president has always emphasized. Yet you so blatantly wanted to extend the test time. Isn't this disrespecting the association president? How ridiculous. Do you know who my dad is?" And Biao he nearby told him to calm down. The next second, Liu Zhiyuan was subdued on the spot. "Please calm down, current candidate. Compared to test results, you should be more worried about yourself now, because your black ether depletion state is becoming more and more obvious." Black ether depletion, a state caused by overusing black ether. At the same time, the man nearby noticed him, then immediately mocked him on the spot. You're really useless. Can't even heal that kind of monster. And at this time, Lu Zhiyuan was already very angry. Damn, I will clearly remember you. Chief Examiner Biao, he came to the Vice President's office, and the Vice President was very dissatisfied with Biao-he's behavior just now. I heard our Zhiyuan was rated as a first-grade hunter. The speaker was Liu Zhiyuan's father. Yes, although he got good evaluation in the first-round test, he didn't show satisfying performance in the practical test. The Vice President threw the hunter list in Biao-he's face. How is this proper? Actually interfering with our Zhiyuan's exam. And I heard the golden core was damaged during testing. What exactly happened? And Biao-he expressed he was completely following regulations. How should the damaged core be handled? I heard the core has completely deteriorated, you handle it yourself. Then Biao-he agreed. At the same time, the man was awarded the S-grade Hunter Honor Medal under everyone's gaze. Hope you can save more humans in the future. And at this time, the man noticed Hunter Lu Zhiyuan nearby. That guy is only first grade? Although he has extremely high black ether content, it doesn't match his actual strength at all. He's really too pitiful. At the same time, the man who just walked out was surrounded by crowds. They competed to interview the man. The man grabbed the microphone. I'm very happy to be rated as S-grade hunter, but I don't accept any interviews now. Then used unique steps to escape the scene. Now they shouldn't be able to catch me. Catching you is still very simple. A man blocked his path. Nice to meet you, Qian Hae-seon. He's called Jia Hankan, I'm called Jia Rikan. You should have heard of Bixiao Guild. As long as you're willing to join our guild, we can agree to any conditions. You seem to misunderstand something. I indeed wanted to join a guild initially. At this time, a figure interrupted their conversation. There's no need to join such a cheap guild. How about coming to our glory guild instead? But he refused. Why should I join? We're not in the kind of relationship where we can communicate with each other. Right, even if joining it should be our Bixiao guild first. But Lone Gun looked impatient. Take your dirty hands away. If you don't want to spend the rest of your life with only one hand. At the same time, Jia Honkin nearby was already ready to fight. Are you looking for death? So what if I am? Lone Gun instantly disappeared from the spot. And the next second, powerful aura instantly shattered the surrounding ice blocks. Do you want to challenge me? Too bad Maria isn't here. That way, even if you were frozen, you could be healed instantly. You're really too arrogant. Then Lone Gun instantly launched an attack on him. He suddenly threw a punch, but was caught on the spot by Jia Rakan. Indeed, there's a reason Bixiao Guild can rank after Glory Guild. What are you talking about? Then he stopped Jia Honkin's actions. Don't you know this is a residential area? If you fight here, it will become very dangerous. Then he apologized to the man. Very sorry, Qian Hae-seon, for letting you see the immature side of the guild. If possible, we'll come invite you to join the guild next time. But the man refused. Because Bixiao Guild's headquarters is too far from the man's home, if he could work from home, he could still consider it. But the two were stunned on the spot. Which hunter works from home, so will you join Glory Guild? No, I would never join that kind of guild even if I died. That's not necessarily the case. Because someday you'll understand, we can't mix with such shallow things. Ultimately, the guild suitable for you is only Glory Guild. And for hunters, death in dungeons is inevitable. So which dungeon has the most deaths? Is it dungeons full of toxins, or dungeons with very powerful bosses? Neither. The dungeon with the most deaths is the newbie dungeon, because newbie hunters often let their guard down in the simplest dungeons, thus meeting meaningless deaths. For this, guilds have taken special measures. Future newbie hunters will enter dungeons below 3-star level, adopting a 5-person team clearing system, and hunters meeting dungeon level requirements can choose to enter alone, thus forming the hunter probation period system. And today, the man will enter the dungeon interior with 4 people from the team. At this time, 2 people nearby recognized Qian Hae-seon and greeted him friendly, and the man also expressed he was happy to meet them. But where are the other 2 people now? At the same time, the other 2 team members arrived late. Since the team is all here, I want to talk about the dungeon first. Is this your first time entering a dungeon? Of course, this is the first time officially entering a dungeon, although the man had already entered more than 10 times privately. As expected. Don't look at us like this, we're all veterans. Although you Qian Hae-seon are an S-grade hunter, your profession might not be convenient for capturing monsters. As long as you're willing to pay appropriate compensation, we can help you unconditionally. What if I don't need it? Then we won't force you either. In fact, those 2 nearby have already paid compensation. As long as the body reaches D grade, this kind of dungeon is completely manageable. But why do they want to obtain enough compensation under the guise of helping newbie hunters? I understand. This is a scam. They are wandering hunters expelled from guilds. Because if individuals enter dungeons, that's very scary, so they can only enter D-grade dungeons and obtain compensation from newbie hunters. But they actually dare to do this kind of business with S-grade hunters. I want to see what tricks they're playing. The scene changed. The 2 were rapidly clearing the D-grade monsters in front. These monsters are simply too weak. Just mere new monsters. No need to make such a big fuss, although they looked very serious. At the same time, Park Hae-seon secretly let a monster escape. Could it be because I didn't pay compensation? This behavior is really too boring. The monster suddenly pounced toward the man, but was killed on the spot by him. This kind of joke is going too far. And at this time, the 2 nearby looked at him with admiration. It seems D-grade monsters are indeed not as difficult as imagined. But aren't you preparing to hunt monsters? Although they performed very impressively, we should take this opportunity to hunt properly. But they expressed they had no confidence at all. Are you planning to do nothing? Those 1-star level monsters are just bigger rats. What's scary about that? And you don't need to worry about getting injured at all. Did you forget my profession is healer? After the man's encouragement, the two finally decided to start participating in hunting, but their problem still isn't solved. At the same time, 2 attacks directly hit the monster in front of Park Hae-seon. What's going on? This should be those 2 newbies' attacks. Didn't I tell you not to make a move? But we also want help a little. Since that's the case, you must conserve your strength, because later there will be monsters as huge as houses. At the same time, there was some movement in the nearby grass. It seems the boss is about to appear. You also know boss attacks are very painful. Then Park Hae-seon immediately demanded they pay an additional $1 million in compensation. Otherwise, if any problems occur, we won't be responsible. But this is completely different from what was agreed. It was clearly agreed to protect us until we clear the dungeon. That was before. Now I don't care about you anymore. If you have any dissatisfaction, go find that healer behind. Because if he paid compensation, these things wouldn't happen. So what will you do? Since you're an S-grade hunter, you should bear corresponding responsibilities. At the same time, a huge monster suddenly appeared in front of them. Although you're an S-grade hunter, this situation should be your first time encountering. Aren't you afraid of guild retaliation later? What a joke. He's just a guy who hasn't even joined a guild. What would we be afraid of? Make your decision quickly, Hae-seon. As long as you don't pay compensation, we'll withdraw from the dungeon. I believe you'll definitely make the right choice. Because S-grade hunters have very heavy responsibilities to bear. But the man looked calm. I admired hunters very much when I was little. But when I grew up, I discovered they're just a bunch of clowns. At this time, the 2 in front were trembling from an invisible energy. What amazing black ether this guy has. If you dare touch us, everything will be reported by the media. Don't know if you've heard. On the day of hunter registration exam, Lone Gun personally taught a fresh student. And that person is me. There does seem to be such a thing. At the same time, Park Hae-seon suddenly launched an attack on him but was easily dodged by the man. The next second, he was stunned in place. What's wrong? Aren't you planning to attack me anymore? That's really too bad. At the same time, a huge boss was quietly approaching the man. Do you still think you're qualified to negotiate with me now? Answer me quickly. Then the man, with just the powerful aura from his body, could scare the 2 on the spot, unable to move. Haven't you figured out the situation yet? You're really funny. If you're afraid of this kind of thing, then you shouldn't have targeted an S-grade hunter. So why exactly are you so righteous? Answer me quickly. Could it be the effect of the small knife taking effect? Although the man felt this was somewhat excessive, he believed being tough would be better. Then the man suggested to them that even if you can't make sounds, you must find ways to respond, because the current situation is extremely dangerous. As soon as he said this, both of them broke out in cold sweat. In short, if this continues, your lives won't be spared. It seems you need to be frightened a bit. Then the man leaped with all his might. In an instant, he appeared before the boss, then delivered a flying kick straight to its eye. This is special treatment from an S-rank hunter, remember to pay me later? The 2 could only rage in silence. What kind of joke was this guy making? Meanwhile, the boss that was attacked flew into a rage. Damn it, aren't healers supposed to have no combat ability? What was that move just now? Is that something a healer can do? At this moment, the man stood behind the 2, constantly provoking. The 2 beside him thought the man was just trying to scare them. You wouldn't think the same, would you? I hate those who joke around with other people's lives the most. Back then, those people didn't even treat me as human. At this point, Park Hae-seon was already drenched in cold sweat. I even feel like you're no different from monsters. Don't you think so? A beggar who came out of an open gate. A rookie who hasn't even experienced real combat. He was curious about what ability the man used to paralyze them from the start. Meanwhile, the enraged boss was already charging toward them, and they were powerless to do anything about it. But just as the boss was about to pounce on the 2, a figure appeared before them. It was actually Hae-seon. What are you doing? The man kicked it, flying dozens of meters away with one strike. Who would have thought an S-rank healer would have such powerful combat abilities? Then the man smoothly moved to face the boss. The man's hand began gathering energy. A short blade appeared. Compared to the giant centipede, this monster is far too weak. Then the man struck down with one slash, instantly killing it. Is he really a healer? You seem to find this very hard to believe. The effect will wear off soon, you can move slowly now. At the same time, both discovered they could move freely and speak. Then the bald man wanted to attack him, but was immediately stopped by Park Hae-seon. What are you doing? He ruined our deal. Let's end this here. You saw it too, didn't you? If it weren't for him, we would have died just now. Then he immediately stated he would never do such things again. At this moment, the rookie hunter nearby called out to the man. We're very grateful for your help. You're really modest. You have the gentleness to care for the weak and tolerance for enemies. It's really nothing. You're truly the best hunter. Then the man returned the payment to both of them. But can this really be returned to us? The man gave a definitive answer. Because this was yours to begin with. But we didn't provide any help in this hunt. That's not true. If you're willing to keep what happened today secret, That would be the greatest help to me. Besides, there are many other places to earn rewards. So the man politely declined their goodwill. There's really no way with you. Are all hunters this stubborn? That's right. I have no intention of accepting these anyway. Now let's slowly walk out. But if I owe a debt to my benefactor, my conscience won't be at peace. He handed the man a business card. Please at least take this. What is this? Umbrella Industries? I think I've heard of it somewhere. But why is he giving me this? Please look carefully at the name there. Jewel Su. Could he be? That's right, he's our father. Although the company isn't very big, it will definitely be helpful to you. If you need anything, please be sure to contact us. It seems they're all very wealthy. The man recalled his action of returning the payment and now felt utterly embarrassed. Then both bid him farewell. The scene shifted, and the man obtained 14 cores in the dungeon. Since it was a 1-star difficulty dungeon, the cores were much smaller than those obtained before. But can I absorb this black core? Black core. Extracted from poison monsters, full of toxins. Ordinary hunters cannot absorb it, so it's classified separately. At the same time, the system prompted that the user's core absorption is unrestricted. Even ordinary cores can be absorbed without loss. This is really great. There's no need to specifically go to poison-filled dungeons. Then the man picked up the core and absorbed it. But in just an instant, all cores were absorbed. Is that really it? There were 14 cores after all, so the man checked his status window. The absorption yielded much less than expected, but what is communication? Communication allows you to communicate with monsters, limited to intelligent individuals. This skill should come in handy, but why did it suddenly appear? It seems being able to communicate with Tiger was thanks to this skill. I wonder if that guy successfully escaped. But he should worry about himself now because his growth is very slow. The man was considering whether to enter dungeons to obtain black cores. Without black cores, he couldn't break through the bottleneck. The black ether content in black cores is dozens of times that of ordinary cores. But because they contain large amounts of toxins, they not only cannot be absorbed but also cannot be used as energy. Although humans have conducted much research on them, all ended in failure. So far, black cores are defined as the lowest grade variety, but poison devourers can absorb black cores without any cost, which is one of the reasons why poison devourers grow so fast. Actually, not many hunters can absorb cores. Absorbing cores requires enormous costs, but absorption efficiency is less than 50%, so input and return are disproportionate. However, ironically, absorbing cores is the best way to improve one's strength. Most hunters dare not grow due to the high cost, keeping their strength at the awakening level. But currently the man's growth has hit a bottleneck. It seems he needs to end the trial period quickly. If he could absorb a golden core, then the man might be able to break through this bottleneck. At the same time, 2 examiners came outside the man's house. Then a knocking sound caught the man's attention. Who would visit at this time? May I ask who it is? I just watched the news. You passed the first dungeon very impressively. Hello. I'm former Chief Examiner Biao He. Kangjun, you come greet him too. Hello, I'm Choi Kangjun. Then the man exchanged pleasantries with him. Congratulations on becoming an S-rank hunter. But what brings you here? Hunter Cheon Hae-seon, don't you think your recent growth has been somewhat slow? I think we'll have many topics to discuss. I just brought some desserts. I wonder if you have time? After some pleasantries, they got to the main topic. Biao He asked the man if he had heard about the frequent appearance of dungeons recently. He denied this as he never bothered with things unrelated to him. Although it's indeed unrelated to the man, as dungeons are managed by guilds once they appear. But what if guilds can't manage the situation? Just yesterday, 3 new dungeons appeared. And that's not the most important thing, because emergency alarms have been sounding in the city recently. Is it actually a 3rd stage alarm? Yellow code, an important indicator of emergency alarms on Earth. Yellow represents 3rd stage danger level. The emergency alarm that sounded at the open gate not long ago was also 3rd stage danger level. Then the man asked Biao He if anyone had died. He said no one had died from it yet. But the man looked incredulous, because this alarm wasn't about the dungeon's danger level, but the dungeon's special nature. I heard monsters will jump out of this dungeon. Usually monsters stay inside dungeons and don't come out, but due to certain reasons, monsters are overflowing in dungeons. When hunters enter the dungeon gate, it becomes an exit for monsters, causing monsters to pour out into the world through the gate. They call this a monster surge. Because monster surges cause countless casualties, humans are constantly on guard against gate appearances. From this perspective, this situation is indeed difficult to handle. Although this dungeon has low difficulty and caused little damage, if it were a 3-star or higher dungeon, the losses would be incalculable. Because the situation is serious, WHPO keeps quiet about this matter. WHPO is the world's most famous hunter organization, possessing enormous power and providing final management of hunters and dungeons. But this isn't something that can be solved by concealment. Current hunter associations all face serious human resource shortages. More than human resources, they worry about monsters jumping out of dungeons anytime. During this period, Biao he learned something interesting. That giant tiger actually recovered completely. The poison-filled tiger was completely healed after just one treatment, so Biao he began paying attention to the man. Although he had secretly investigated the man before, he found nothing. Then Biao he recommended the man go to poison dungeons, believing no one was more suited for these dungeons than him. Although low-level poison dungeons can't affect S-rank healers, if he rashly accepted this task, the man would be led around by the association. So the man asked them what rewards he could get if he accepted this task. They had already prepared everything. They took out a golden core from their backpack. It's actually a golden core. As for why the golden core became like this, they already knew in their hearts, because the core contained black ether left by the man. This was purely catching the man's weakness. Then Biao he spoke directly. This should have been thrown away, but he guessed the man should be able to use it. The man also realized this guy was testing him, faced with such tempting conditions. The man readily agreed. The black ether content of an S-rank golden core is like an endless ocean. Even as an S-rank, the man can currently only absorb 2% of it. If he absorbed it all, he would definitely be a crushing existence over the uncle. But before he finished speaking, the uncle slapped toward the man. How can you be distracted during training? Although the uncle looks kind now, he's a demon-like existence during training. Then the man decided to launch a surprise attack on him. But the next second, the uncle's figure disappeared from the spot. Then the man frantically swung the small knife in his hand, but it was too late. A flying kick struck the man's face directly. Only then did he realize this was less like training and more like one-sided beating. Originally, when he heard the man single-handedly killed hunting dogs, the uncle had some expectations for the man, but now it seems nothing special. Hearing this, the man was not to be outdone. After all, to learn the uncle's techniques, he had given up many things. Then he was about to use his signature move, Poison Walk. A figure flashed by. It seems this is the ability that killed the hunting dogs. At this moment, the uncle remained calm. Although the man's speed was fast, there were still flaws. With a simple raise of his hand, he blocked the man's attack. It seems you need to remaster your body. The man looked incredulous. But the uncle still acknowledged the man's strength and decided to teach him a few moves. Based on the man's black ether content, he could use Steel Body. Steel Body is a technique that wraps black ether around the body for enhancement. Then the man said he would definitely learn it. But he was curious how long it took the uncle to learn this technique. Just the basic movements took 10 years. The man was instantly speechless. At the same time, Dagger approached and teased him. An S-rank healer actually needs training too. Because I have no talent, I'm practicing basic movements. So what progress have you made now? The current man had no clue. So Dagger told the man a secret. The uncle's technique has a trick. The man was very shocked. Every time the uncle uses his technique, a special fragrance spreads. That's not simple martial arts. It's a technique close to illusion. So there's something invisible at work. He suddenly remembered this power indeed exists. Hunters, who mainly use psychic power, espers. With Dagger's guidance, the man finally discovered the trick. Because the ability is so rare, he hadn't thought of multi-ability users. Psychic power is the main factor in creating illusions. The uncle has 2 abilities. Although the man found relevant clues, how should he deal with psychic power? Because each user displays completely different forms and properties. As the essence of most hunters' power, its application is very broad. At the same time, lightning struck from afar, instantly killing the monster in front. He is the most promising hunter, Hae-seon. While everyone marveled at this, he didn't forget to show off to the man. Hae-seon, what do you think? I am the most promising hunter, Hae-seon. Then came a round of self-praise. So much that the man's eardrums nearly burst. At this moment, cries for help from nearby caught his attention. Then he rushed there without stopping. Originally, the man thought acting with the guild would be freer, but he didn't expect this scene. Is Hae-seon also a rookie hunter like me? Of course, he's a very promising hunter, so I put in great effort to bring him here. But why do you, as a guild senior, flatter him so much? Because he likes it. The man felt speechless, facing the senior's team-building invitation. The man politely declined, because after clearing the dungeon, he still had to go back and train. I didn't expect you to be so hardworking, truly worthy of an S-rank hunter. At the same time, Il-chan discovered something interesting. This ground is glowing. The senior beside him was shocked. The next second, he began evacuating people because this was the legendary secondary dungeon. But it was too late. The ground beneath them suddenly cracked. Their priority was protecting the 2 hunters, Hae-seon and Il-chan. Meanwhile, people around were falling into the secondary dungeon one by one. But Il-chan nearby was frozen in place, having never seen such a scene. Even when his brother fell before his eyes, he couldn't reach out to help. At this moment, he even doubted himself. Maybe he shouldn't have come to this dungeon. He had killed everyone. Pull yourself together. A voice rang in his ear. Do you want to lose everyone? As long as they don't die instantly, I can save them. Then he leaped into the secondary dungeon. But aren't you afraid? He was feeling conflicted, but thinking his teammates would die because of this. He mustered courage and jumped in. The scene shifted, and they were slowly falling. This is fortunate in misfortune. But can you put protection on all guild members? I'm afraid that's impossible, because his brother was too far away, and the limit for protection was 4 people. 4 people are enough. Are we abandoning his brother? The man gave a negative answer. At the same time, equipment slowly flew toward the man. Leave him to me. Because this was his first time encountering a secondary dungeon, his reaction was slow, but now he needed to concentrate. So he called for equipment to become stepping stones. The next second, equipment transformed into countless stepping stones floating beside him. Then he began jumping through space. Meanwhile, the team member was slowly falling through space. The next second, a figure flashed by. The man had already saved 2 people. It looked like they were about to reach the bottom of the space. At the same time, strong winds rushed toward them. This place was actually the secondary dungeon. They safely landed in the dungeon. Liu Chan was shocked, because after experiencing all this, the man was completely unharmed. Then he worried about other teammates' conditions. The man said the teammates were over there and fine, but currently they shouldn't worry about these things. They should prioritize dealing with the flock of monster birds ahead. Il-chan looked serious. These monsters didn't seem easy to handle. But in the man's eyes, it seemed very simple, because they would die immediately upon being touched by equipment. Il-chan thought he had fallen and was talking nonsense. So he decided. The next battle would be completed by him. The man was stunned. He didn't understand why this person was so excited. At this moment, a voice attracted their attention. The teammates had all woken up. Il-chan, we won't let you steal all the spotlight. Then they thanked the man for saving their lives. The man didn't need to worry about the upcoming battle, but the man was concerned about their safety. Moments later, they were fully prepared. The black-haired man pulled out an explosive axe, then threw it at the monster birds. The next second, he detonated it on the spot. In an instant, explosions filled the sky, and the birds' screams echoed endlessly. Even smoke filled the entire dungeon. Just when everyone thought it was over, the black-haired man looked incredulous, because that attack had no effect on them whatsoever. At the same time, the battle situation reversed instantly, and teammates fell into passive positions. Although the black-haired man wanted to reduce the number of monster birds, his attacks caused no damage. But so far they were doing well, probably due to their rich experience. But as time passed, humans ultimately couldn't match monsters. At the same time, the man gently raised his right hand and instantly healed him completely. The girl begged the man to escape now, because these weren't monsters they could handle. But the man said he would stay and fight, because he was a healer who had to ensure people wouldn't be harmed. The girl thought he was joking, as this was a battle destined to fail. But the man jokingly said giving up without trying was laughable behavior. But you're a healer. Although he was an S-rank hunter, healers had no combat ability. Even doing nothing, he couldn't escape this dungeon now. The girl realized she had said the wrong thing. Although healers rely heavily on teammates, setting aside their inherent importance. Healers have very powerful support abilities, but not every healer is like this. The man threw out his short blade. A black shadow flashed by. The next second, he actually killed the monster bird instantly. But this was far from enough. The man used poison walk to quickly approach the flock. In an instant, he swiftly killed all surrounding monsters. Meanwhile, the flock tried to ambush him from behind, but was taken out with one strike. This is really troublesome. Although the short blade is very convenient, there are simply too many monsters. If only there were more convenient weapons, with long-range attack characteristics, that could maximize damage range. That would be the electric gun. Then he launched an attack. The next second, countless attacks rushed toward the flock. The teammates wondered where his weapon came from. But would such ordinary attacks really be effective? That wasn't ordinary attack, because it contained the man's black ether. At the same time, the monster birds died from poisoning. It seems this should solve everything. The next second, the man felt dizzy from overusing black ether. But just then, a monster bird rushed toward him. At this critical moment, lightning struck down and killed it instantly. This attack seems pretty good. Of course, because I'm your opponent. But it seems the man's black ether is running low. So how should they deal with the boss ahead? Singing Hero, Type, Psychic, Physical Level C, Other Levels S, Difficulty 6 stars? Can they really defeat this guy? The man said not to worry, because he still had black ether for movement. Then he cut his own arm with a blade. Dealing with him is more than enough. Such a pity just appeared and already going offline. A figure flashed by. The next second he was before the boss. Then he swung with full force. In the battle with hunting dogs, he discovered black ether hidden in blood. His toxicity was enough to kill any monster. With just one strike, the man instantly killed the boss. Although some members were injured, after the man's treatment they all recovered. Thus, the secondary dungeon was cleared. Moments later, they were puzzled by the man's actions, because he had made huge contributions to clearing the dungeon, but didn't want any rewards. But there was a requirement. The man needed them to keep everything that happened secret. Not asking about others was the Or Noten Guild strategy. But this had no benefit for the man. Why would he still do this? Because the man found it too troublesome. He didn't want too much attention. This caused everyone's dissatisfaction, so the man decided to leave first. Then said everyone worked hard and escaped from there. Although Hae-seon seemed to be at a loss, it wasn't so. Because he absorbed many monster bird cores, his black ether improved, and gained a new skill, Lion's Roar. Adding black ether to voice can restrain the opponent's spirit. Although intercepting cores the guild could have obtained felt bad. This thing improved the man too much. Then he left with a full load, following the guidance on his phone. The man came to a shopfront. He thought there was no more suitable place than this. Meanwhile, Lu Tai from the cleaning mutual aid team was enjoying life. He had obtained permission to enter poison dungeons. As long as he found that thing, he could return to his previous life. But he found no one was accompanying him into the dungeon. So he called his old friends, but they politely refused, even advising him to give up such unrealistic dreams early, because there was no golden herb in dungeons. Ridiculed, he slowly hung up the phone. To pursue his dream, he had already lost everything. At this moment, knocking sounds came from outside. But when he opened the door, he was stunned, because Hae-seon was standing outside his house. It's actually Hae-seon. He's a recent celebrity, the first S-rank hunter to appear in years. The genius boy who inherited Maria's ability. The guy shrouded in mystery. What brings such a big shot here? Lu Tai wanted to warmly welcome the man. But what brings you here? The man heard this was clan, so he came here. I heard clan allows free joining and leaving. Obviously the man came here because he didn't like being constrained by guilds. I wonder if I have the honor of working with you? Lu Tai felt incredulous, because the legendary S-rank hunter stood before him. But just as the man wanted to enter the dungeon, he was stopped. After all, they were about to enter the notorious poison dungeon, but the man hadn't made any preparations. But he said there was no need to worry, then walked straight toward the dungeon. The man entering the dungeon instantly felt refreshed. This left Lu Tai stunned. Then he gave the man a digging tool. Next was to dig precious ore. Just then, countless Iberhas rushed toward them. But these monsters shouldn't actively attack humans. But there was no time to think about these problems now, because this was the best time to gain experience. The man struck with his blade, instantly killing many monsters, but carelessly let 2 monsters escape. They quickly rushed toward Lu Tai, just as the man wanted to warn him. A loud bang rang out. Lu Tai used just 2 punches to deal with the charging monsters. He was curious why the man, a healer, had such powerful combat abilities. The man realized the uncle before him was actually a B-rank hunter. Even he hadn't expected such talent would be content being a dungeon cleaner. Did he have unspeakable difficulties? But now that all monsters were cleared, they should be able to collect peacefully. But just as he was enthusiastically collecting ore, the man's expression tightened, because he sensed a boss nearby watching them. Then he signaled Lu Tai that he needed to collect alone next, while he would confront the boss. Then he used Poison Walk to quickly approach the boss. Only Lu Tai remained stunned in place. Meanwhile, this was the best chance to test the man's training results. Recalling earlier, the uncle was very pleased with the man's progress. Although he only touched the uncle's collar, even the uncle needed 10 years of training to reach this level. But the second stage wouldn't be so easy. Then the uncle suddenly attacked the man. Now was the best time to confirm training results. Come at me, monster werewolf. Now he could defeat it even without using poison abilities. But before he finished speaking, the werewolf's punch struck, knocking him to the ground instantly. The man thought it was just coincidence. But the next second, a storm of punches hit his body. Even Lu Tai couldn't help but stop them. With the monster's punch, the man was knocked down again. He even wondered if he wasn't suited for close combat. Level differences couldn't be overcome through normal means. As expected, without learning martial arts, he couldn't defeat enemies through physical combat. Although the man had unparalleled talent, reaching levels that took others decades in just months. Whether strength, speed, agility, or reaction, all far exceeded average. But talent alone couldn't quickly master martial arts. At the same time, the werewolf's punch sent the man flying dozens of meters. He was deep in thought. The essence of the uncle's technique was less martial arts than illusion, a trick mixing real body and phantom. Could the man without telepathy achieve this? He suddenly remembered the earlier prompt when defeating monster birds. Sensitivity to mental energy had improved. At that time, he didn't know what use this had. But this might be key to learning quick evasion. Quick evasion is an extremely difficult technique that can't be learned through talent alone. Without understanding its principles, it can't be mastered. Even martial arts experts find it difficult. But the man glimpsed the basics in a short time. He could already react to the uncle's attacks. But this was far from enough. Although the man was familiar with the feeling of spreading black ether around, this was just getting started. Even if the man tried his best to recreate this feeling, it was still imitation. A roar rang out. The werewolf leaped toward the man, then punched through his chest. But the next second, the man suddenly appeared behind him. "Looks like you missed. Come here, little doggy." A red light rushed toward the man. The man was systematically avoiding all damage. The most important thing in using techniques is mastering correct posture. Next is stable footing. Then concentrating speed, direction, balance, recoil, rotation, and force direction in one place. Only this way can force be bounced back, deceiving the opponent while counterattacking. The stronger the opponent, the stronger the bounced force. At the same time, the werewolf swung down with force. In an instant, the surrounding air seemed to freeze. Because at this moment, victory was decided. Even Lu Tai found this incredible. Who would have thought a healer could single-handedly challenge a boss, even if it was all true? Could such techniques really exist in this world? Moments later, both returned with full loads. Riding this momentum, they cleared dungeon after dungeon, but entering dungeons required association permits. All this came from Chief Examiner Biao He's help. Because he wasn't sure whether he was friend or foe, the man remained vigilant. Meanwhile, the two began chatting. The man was curious why the uncle came here to be a dungeon cleaner. Although the uncle explained it was because his strength was too low, plus he wasn't popular with others, so he chose this job. But the man saw through his lies. As a B rank, the uncle definitely had strong abilities. But why was he so obsessed with poison dungeons, as if searching for something? The uncle finally explained he wanted to find the legendary sunflower. It was a flower from legend that could cure any disease. The man realized what the uncle mentioned was the golden sunflower, as only it had such miraculous effects. Although this was legend, the uncle believed it completely. There were two types of people searching for sunflowers: hunters, who understood sunflower habits, and those who needed to believe in their existence. He once had a beautiful wife, but he couldn't protect her. His wife believed sunflowers existed in the world, so finding sunflowers became his only obsession. But he searched all poison dungeons without finding any trace of sunflowers, and eventually even team members distanced themselves from him. At this moment, the man revealed why the uncle couldn't find sunflowers. Sunflowers disappear when the boss dies. This is their inherent characteristic, so he must find sunflowers before killing the boss. Sunflowers are classified into gold, silver, and bronze levels. Higher dungeon levels mean higher flower levels, and higher levels mean greater difficulty obtaining them. The man had never seen a golden sunflower. They only had a chance to appear in 7-star or higher poison dungeons. They needed to defeat the boss there to get it. The uncle thought the man was just comforting him, but the next second, the man took out a bronze sunflower from his pocket. Sunflowers truly exist. This is the best proof. Learning his goal wasn't an ethereal existence, the uncle couldn't help but tear up. This meant all the uncle's efforts had value. Of course, it's all meaningful. All the uncle's inner grievances were released in an instant. Pull yourself together, your clan's captain. Don't you still need to find sunflowers? From now on, let's search for them together.